Hello, my name is Tim. Welcome to Urban Rider. Let's talk motorcycle accessories and let's talk something that every motorcyclist will have, I'm sure, and that's a rucksack. Hopefully a dependable rucksack. And if you don't, we have you covered with the Knox Studio to my right. Knox, it's a British company. If you've never heard of them before, I'd be surprised actually if you've been riding a bike. They do some pretty good stuff in terms of armour and clothing. Very practically well thought out products. We like them a lot here at Urban Rider. It is the same story with the Studio. So this is, headlines really, 25 litres in capacity and 100% waterproof in the body of the bag itself, which is important. And it's important that I do distinguish between the body of the bag and these side pockets, just in case you're wondering. They aren't listed as being waterproof, but I'm sure they are water resistant to a certain degree. I feel like I can talk with some authority on this one because I ride with the brother of this bag, the Trekker from Knox, and I have zero complaints from mine. For materials, as you can see, it is made of a mix between polyester and leather. Leather with the accents that you see dotted around, like that Knox logo on there, or on the small of your back, and the base of the bag as well for extra reinforcement. Makes it a little bit thicker, a little bit more sturdy on the bottom. You've also got chrome buckles for fastening on the front there as well. Now if I start by spinning this upside down, as I mentioned, it has the leather on the base there, so it's extra thick, and this is where you're going to start putting the bag down. Of course, this is where it's going to wear out the quickest. It's also got these little plastic feet as well for extra stability and a bit of extra reinforcement as well. Keeps it elevated slightly from the ground. What I will say about those is it's a bit of a double-edged sword. They are great, and I wouldn't take them off mine at all, but it is worth noting that if you're riding on bikes with a slightly higher pillion seat, specifically if you've got a flat seat, not too much of an issue, but it will start to touch down, and of course they are quite hard, so it's going to start to wear on the seat a little bit. You will start to notice it, so you just need to adjust where it sits on your back and maybe just hitch it up a little bit tighter. If I then spin it around so you can see the back, you can see how obviously it straps to your shoulders, and I'll just talk a little bit more about the ergonomics and how comfortable it is. Again, speaking from experience with mine, the Knox Trekker, it is a comfortable bag to live with day to day. You can ride around in it all day long and it's not going to give you too much back pain or shoulder pain. The shoulder straps are a little bit padded, so they are quite comfortable. They're quite wide though, that's more important, so it takes the pressure off. It doesn't dig too much into your shoulders or into your skin. You've got some extra padding just running down parallel on the back there next to your spine, so obviously it takes the pressure off the center there and just works down your shoulder blades. Again, quite comfortable. And then you've got this chest fastening clip there, so you can adjust that, so you can buckle it across your chest and your waist with this one down the bottom. And of course you can adjust where they sit on the bag and where they sit on your body as well to your specific physical requirements. You've also got these extra bits of padding around your hips. That's going to take a bit of pressure off as well, just makes it a bit more comfortable when it's sitting around your waist. And then if I undo these chrome buckles, you can see the top flap comes open and it rolls over on the top. As I say, this section here is 100% waterproof. This takes the wind and the rain off a little bit as well. Worth pointing out this little extra pocket in the top there, which you have a little clip. So you can loop that through the chin bar on your helmet if you're walking around off the bike. Not necessarily recommended while you're on it, but you can stick that through your helmet, and obviously you don't have to carry around two things. You can just have your helmet hanging freely behind you. Wouldn't, as I say, recommend using that if you're on the bike necessarily. Then if I undo this clasp here, you can see that it rolls. That expands the capacity somewhat as well. As mentioned, 25 litres. That is more than enough for most situations. If you're going around town, if you're commuting, it's enough to carry, a pair of trainers, a laptop. Actually, let me show you what I've got in mine. It's not filled to the brim, but it has got some things in there. Laptop. You will notice that is also in a waterproof cover. Call me obsessed or paranoid. I am a little bit. But once you've been burnt once, you don't tend to make the same mistake a second time. But you can see the capacity of it, hopefully, a little bit anyway, and even more so if I start to pull out the internals as well. That does a handy job if you've lost something in the very bottom of the bag, but it also shows you the waterproof liner. And that really is where you're going to get your waterproofing from. Speaking from experience with the Trekker, it's a little bit different because it's got extra little pockets and pouches, but essentially the same item, and I trust mine completely. It's never let me down to date, and I've been riding with mine for about 3 years or so in some very, very wet conditions, much to my chagrin. But it's nice to see it unrolled there all the same, so you can get an idea of what it's like internally. So you've got the front pocket, decent kind of size to it. Worth pointing out again that if it doesn't list it as being waterproof, don't assume that it is. Don't put anything too precious in the front there if it's going to be raining too heavily. It has got a flap over the top, hopefully to stop the rain getting in there too badly, but like I say, just with an air of caution, don't necessarily put your most precious belongings in the front. You've also got these side pockets, decent size to them as well. I was going to say you could fit a phone in there, which didn't sound like it was that impressive, but actually phones getting substantially bigger than they used to be, so you can fit a decent kind of size in there as well. There we go though, and it actually sits up quite nicely as well. The base, quite rigid, does mean that it's harder to fold down if you need to compress it anywhere, but it does mean that it sits quite proudly whenever you find a home for it. So this is coming in at £74.99 on the Urban Rider website. You can find the link in the description. Leave your questions and comments if you want to, and we will see you soon for more of the world's finest riding gear. Thank you.